Hi everyone, welcome back and welcome if you're new. My name is Blair and today we're going to do something kind of different. I wanted to reuse and retest some new makeup. So you may have seen me use these things before if you keep up with my videos, but these are all newer makeup purchases that I wanted to use again and just kind of reevaluate and see what my thoughts were. So I hope you guys enjoy this style of video. If you are new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you're new, I hope you'll stick around and subscribe. We would love to have you here. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video. We're gonna retry a bunch of new makeup purchases. Let's get into it. So what I wanted to do today is actually do a full face of newer makeup. You have seen me use these things, most likely. If you are not new to my channel, if you are, you have not seen me use them. But basically, these are new things I've gotten in the past month or two, and I wanted to kind of test them out again. I feel like sometimes when you try out so many things, it's hard to really formulate how you feel about them in one video. So I thought we might revisit some of these newer makeup purchases today. So I want to use all kinds of stuff. The Kosas foundation, the LYS concealer, Gucci bronzer, and just some other newer things that I feel like I haven't tested enough with you guys. So that's what we are going to be doing today. I've already done my skincare and all that, and let's get into it. The first thing we're going to do is the brows, and honestly, I'm just going to speed through this because I feel like I've used this quite a bit already. It's the e.l.f. brow soap. So I got the brow soap and the brow lift. I get all my names confused. And I've been using both of them. I honestly still to this day don't know which one I like better. I like them both. So I'm just getting my spoolie really covered with this, and I'm just gonna brush this through the brows. I will say I feel like with the soap, just from what I've noticed, the hold is slightly better, but you do, I think if you look up close, you can kind of see it in your brows a little bit. Not bad, like to the point where I would be like, oh, I don't want to use this. It's not like that at all, but you can, I feel like, see little tiny soap particles if you look really, really close. Whereas with the brow lift, because it's that clear kind of gel consistency, you don't really have that issue. But I do think this one has better hold than the brow lift. Honestly, I like them both. I've been using them both. It just kind of depends on what you're wanting. All right, I went ahead and just filled in my brows because I don't have any new brow products other than the e.l.f. brow products, which I just showed you. So I am just going back through them with my spoolie real quick. I just used the e.l.f., or not the e.l.f., the NYX brow pen, the lift and snatch. I'm trying to practice more with this because it definitely does take a little bit of practice, but I really like how it looks if I use a really light hand with it. So I'm trying to practice with it a little bit more. This is new, but I'm pretty sure we all know how I feel about this, but we're going to use it anyway. So it's the new Bobbi Brown Corrector Stick. This is something I definitely don't need any clarity on at all, but it's really my only new corrector right now that I have. Now I am dying to get the concealer version of this because they came out with the same formula but just in a concealer and not a corrector. And now I really want to get that because I love the color of this, but the thing I love most about this stick is the formula. Something about the really thin texture of this it just looks really flattering under your eyes. And that's important with anything, but it's important with Corrector especially because most people will then go over the top of it with something else. So you don't want to start out with something thick and, you know, just something that's going to accentuate any texture, lines, or anything you have going on under your eyes, and this really doesn't. So I'm just going to lightly tap this in. I'm in such just a good mood today. If you follow me on Instagram or if you follow me here, I posted yesterday that I applied for the Sephora Squad, and so many of you already, and it's been less than 24 hours, have written testimonials for me, and literally whether I'm chosen for that or not, it really doesn't matter because I just want you guys to know that it really means a lot that you take any time out of your day to support me. And if you leave me a testimonial, any testimonial at all on my testimonial page, I'll link it in my description box if you want to write one. It just means so much, and I don't know, I just feel really, really grateful for this community that I have here. I don't know, it just made me really think about it, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. Also, one more thing before we move on, I toned down the brightness of my video. So this video may look slightly darker than my videos have been looking. I've been kind of trying to play around with my lighting a little bit. I'm always trying to make it better. It's just very hard sometimes to use artificial lights and get it to look as natural as possible. In a perfect world, I'm sure other YouTubers would probably agree, we would all use natural light because it is obviously the most true to how you look, but most of the time it's just not possible. There's not enough natural light, or it's too spotty and it goes in and out constantly. It's just, it's hard. So I'm always trying to perfect my lights, and I don't want it to look dark because that's my pet peeve when I watch videos and I feel like everything looks dark. That bugs me, but then I don't want it to look too bright so that you can't see like what my face looks like and what products look like. So let me know what you think of this, and I'll, you know, adjust accordingly, but I am always working on it. But you know, I don't know anything about lighting. I didn't know anything about video when I started YouTube, so I just kind of have to learn as I go. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let's move on to foundation, and we're not going to use Nars because I think we all know how I feel about Nars at this point. We're not going to use Charlotte Tilbury because I think I've kind of beaten that one into the ground. Also, I don't love it on its own. I think it's okay to mix in with other things, but I just don't love it by itself. But I want to use the Kosas foundation again. I used this a few weeks ago in a video, and I want to revisit this again, mainly because I just feel like I didn't get a great wear test on it that day, and I haven't worn it a ton since, so I really want to try it again. So I have the shade, what is this, 170. So it says it's a light neutral warm shade, and right now I have on a little bit of tanner, so I feel like this may match me a little bit better right now. So this is about, I would say, like 3/4 of a pump, not a full pump. So I'm going to use the Morphe Ariel brush. I've really been liking this. A few of you asked me what I think about these. I really like these brushes. I'm not typically big on Morphe brushes. They're not horrible, they're just not anything as good as like my BK Beauty brushes or my Smashbox brushes that I love. But these definitely have a different feel to them. They're much softer and they feel like very good quality, and I've really enjoyed using mine. So this is the A24. So I think you can buy the face set individually, the eye set individually, and then you can buy the whole like collection of them. I'm not sure actually if you can buy the face ones separately. I know you can buy the brush or the eye set by itself, but I don't know about the face set, but I'll look and see if I can figure that out. But I really, really like these. Number one, I like how they look. I love these nude, like soft, almost like a suede handle. So that I really like, and I don't know, I feel like the collection of brushes is just a really good assortment. I don't know, they were just calling to me. One of those things where I saw them when they first came out and I couldn't really get them off my mind, and I finally just decided to do it. But I really do like them. Alright, so I'm getting what's left on the back of my hand and just gonna kind of tap over everything one more time. And like I said, I didn't use a full pump here. I used, I would say about 3/4 of a pump. So I don't know if you guys can tell on the camera, but this matches my neck right now really, really well. So this is definitely going to be good for spring, summer coming up because I typically use my self tanner more during that time. But yeah, here it is. So that is one layer. So this foundation to me, let me see here. I mean, it looks really pretty actually, you guys. I thought it was pretty the first time I used it, but I do think I applied more the first few times. I used at least a whole pump, maybe a little bit more than a pump, but this is a good bit less product. I feel like that's kind of key with this because it is a little bit on the glowier side. So if you have an oily skin type, I would say if you want to try this, I would use as little as possible, and you're probably going to want to set with a little bit of powder. Get up closer so you can see, and again, this is shade 170. It gives pretty good coverage though for a little amount of product. I really didn't use a whole lot, and I would say this is pretty solid medium coverage. All right, let's use the LYS Triple Fix concealer. So I have the shade LN6, and the one thing I do know about this for sure is, okay, they say this is full coverage. To me, this is absolutely not full coverage. I would say a solid medium coverage. Even if you apply quite a bit, I don't think you're going to get full coverage out of this. To me, I think I said this in the other video when I used this reminds me so much of the Bare Minerals Bare Skin concealer, the one they discontinued. That's what the consistency of this really reminds me of. I'm going to let this sit for about a minute before we blend it in, just so I can get as much coverage as possible. I'm going to blend this in with my FO3 from Sigma. So the 21 Days of Beauty, I'm sure you all know, is going on right now. And yesterday, okay, this is kind of funny. Yesterday was the, gosh, I gotta look at my calendar. Yesterday was the 15th. And I believe yesterday was the second day. And they had the Kosas Snail Essence. I think that's what it's called, the Snail Essence and Creme. They were 50% off yesterday, and I had planned to order them, but the cream must have gone out of stock like in the middle of the night, because by the time I got up the next morning, the cream was already out of stock. But anyway, I've seen these products all over, really everywhere, but especially TikTok, just about being really good for your skin, really calming, and just good for acne or inflammation on your skin. And I don't know. So I had it in my mind that I just really wanted to try the essence and the cream. So I decided I'm gonna go like hunt them down yesterday at Ulta, and I have a good many Ultas kind of near me. And so I go to the first Ulta, and I got there like 10:30. I think they opened at 10. And okay, they only had one left of the essence, which I was super happy about. They didn't have the cream. So I did end up getting the essence, and I almost didn't go to another one to try to find the cream, but I did it. I went, and miraculously the second Ulta that I went to didn't have the essence, and they had one cream left. So I did get those, and I'm not gonna say that I love them already because I just got them yesterday, but I did use them last night and this morning, and you guys, I think I might have found like a favorite skincare product. It's really hard to explain, but they're a very interesting texture, and it is kind of weird to think about the fact that it is snail secretion, or it's like 95% snail secretion, which is kind of odd, but I don't know. Something about it on my skin feels really good. It doesn't irritate me, and I don't know. I just really liked it instantly when I used it. So I'm planning to do my skincare routine soon. I know I've been saying it for months that I was going to do it, and I just haven't done it, but I am going to do it. So I will update you on that then. Anyway, so there is the concealer. I'm just going to tap over it lightly with a damp sponge, and then I'm going to go just slightly around my face and just kind of tap this in. I didn't apply a whole lot anywhere else on my face, but this is what it looks like. So as you can see, I mean, I don't think this is full coverage in my opinion, and I have a corrector underneath. I just don't think I would call this full coverage, but I do really like how it looks under my eyes. Let me get my mirror so I can see. It's a very natural looking concealer to me. Like, it definitely looks like I have something on, but it doesn't look like, oh my gosh, look at all the concealer she has under her eyes. Do you know what I mean? And I have two layers. I have a corrector and a concealer on, but I think it looks really pretty. And one thing I will say is, because it's that kind of thinner, serum-y texture, if you have a lot of fine lines under your eyes, I do think this is probably going to settle into your fine lines a little bit. I think there are very few concealers, if any, that I could tell you I don't think will. But overall, I really like this one. Really, really like it. Okay, so I want to use some powder. I'm going to use powder bronzer and powder blush. Well, I think I might use a cream blush too. Anyway, I am going to use just a little bit of powder on my face. And I have two newer powders to my collection. The La Mer powder, which I really like. I'm still really liking that. But instead of using that, I really wanted to use the Nars powder today. So this is the Nars Light Reflecting powder, and this is the translucent one, obviously, but they do, I think it comes in 3 other shades that have more of a tint to them. And I guess they relaunched this when the new Nars foundation came out, because this is not a new product from what I remember, but I wanted to try this with the Kosas foundation. So I'm going to go in with this. I almost said I'll use the Kosas Cloud Set powder, but then I was like, no, I use that one to death, literally. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this Nars powder. And what I will say about this is possibly the thinnest feeling powder I've ever used. Like, I mean, it feels like silk, honestly. It's so thin, it's not detectable on your skin. And this is another Morphe brush. I really like this for powder. This is the A 3.2, but it's a really good size for more like targeted powder on your face. And I kind of want to see how this is with the Kosas foundation, because to me, the Kosas powder with this is so good. But I am going to take a little bit of this Nars and just pop it right here in the inner corner. All right, let's move on to bronzer. We're going to use the Gucci bronzer again. I'm not going to lie, I actually thought about returning this. Not because I don't like it. I do like it. I think it's a beautiful product. I mean, come on. But it's expensive. It's expensive, you guys. And I haven't used it enough to decide if I think it was worth it or not. But I figured we're going to use it again today and we'll see what we think. I liked it when I used it initially, but I don't know that I can tell you you've got to go out and spend, I think this bronzer is like $60, $62, somewhere around there. But anyway, we're gonna try it again. This is the shade number 2. And a few of you told me that you thought, or you had seen people saying that shade number 3 was actually lighter. And I guess I should have paid more attention to that when I was buying this. I feel like I looked at shade number 3, but I didn't like something about the tone. I don't know. I feel like I vaguely remember that, but anyway. It's so funny. I feel like I've gotten so used to cream bronzer that I almost don't know how to apply powder bronzer. So I'm just going to swirl this on. Okay, one thing I have noticed about this, and I don't know what the deal is here. I do think this bronzer, if you apply it on super wet skin, it can go on a little bit patchy. I kind of smoothed it out there, so it looks a little bit better. But sometimes, depending on how much you get on your brush, I do feel like it can go on a little bit splotchy. But it is so thin and it's definitely blendable, but I just kind of wanted to note that. I have noticed that if you don't like thoroughly set the area that you're applying it on, I do think it can go on a little bit patchy. So this is the A21 brush. I think this is supposed to be just for powder, but I'm gonna use it for bronzer. Like, it went on a little patchy underneath there, but then it does blend out. So I think it's just kind of a matter of figuring out the right brush and like how to work with it. And this color is definitely a deeper bronzer for me, but I think it's fine for like this time of year. And the smell, I will say, is very strong. I could definitely live without the smell, but okay. Moving on, we might even use that on the eyes as eyeshadow. I've seen a few people saying they really like to use that on their eyes as well, so we may do that also. So for blush, I really have 2 newer blushes. I don't know which one I should use. So I have the new Patrick Ta in the shade She's Blushing, which is stunning, stunning. But then I also have the new Tarte blush, the one that came out with the Full Bloom palette, which looks like this, a little more of a pinky rosy color. We gotta go Patrick Ta. We gotta go Patrick Ta. I can't help it. Okay, so I am going to use another one of these brushes, the Morphe brushes. This is the A22, and I feel like this is a really good brush for powder blush if you like, or if you want more of like a diffused application, because it's so wispy and fluffy. So I'm gonna go in with the powder first. And just kind of lightly feather that on. Yeah, I love this brush for blush. It kind of reminds me of the Flower Beauty blush brush. I do think the Flower one is a little more dense than the Morphe one, but I like them both. All right, and then I'm gonna take a little bit of the cream on top. So I'm gonna go in with this side. So with these, I kind of like to get some on the sponge and then tap it off and then go on to the face. I mean, this color, you guys, is so beautiful. I mean, oh, I love it. So good. We're gonna use this again. So this was the Tom Ford Emotionproof eye color that I got at the cosmetics company store a few weeks ago. And I fell madly in love with this from the first time I used it, honestly. Like, I loved the color of this. Well, the formula is very good too, but the color of this is so perfect for my eyes. And sadly, I'm pretty positive this has been discontinued, because when you Google it, you can't find this color online. This is the color Naked Eyes, but it is just the perfect color for my eyes with my natural discoloration. It's like, it just kind of enhances the color that I already have here. And actually yesterday when I was in Ulta looking for that snail product, I was looking at the MAC because I really wanted to try, honestly, the MAC Stack mascara, the one that's all over TikTok, but of course it was all sold out. But anyway, I was looking at the MAC paint pots, and one of the colors I was looking at looked actually like it might be kind of similar to this, and it was the Lay and Low color, I think is what it was called. But when I looked at it, it looked very similar to this color. So let me know if you have tried Lay and Low from MAC and if you think it looks kind of similar to this. It just looks kind of like a light beigey brown, but I might end up trying that at some point. I also got this Tom Ford quad I used in one of my other trying new makeup videos. It's the Honeymoon quad. So I might use these two like lighter colors on my eyes today. I just want to do something light. Okay, so I am going to go in with the bronzer from Gucci, and I'm going to use this Makeup by Ariel brush. This is the A11, so it's just a fluffy crease brush. And I'm just going to lightly apply this in my crease really as lightly as possible, because I already have that Tom Ford quad, or not Tom Ford quad, the Tom Ford cream eyeshadow. I think I'm just going to take this light shimmery color in the Tom Ford quad, and I'm going to pop just a little bit of that right in the center of my lid. I'm gonna take this Gucci bronzer and I'm gonna put this lightly on my bottom lash line too. This Gucci bronzer though, you guys, the smell is strong. So just keep that in mind. If you do not like strong smells, I guarantee you probably won't like that because it's very, very fragrant. Blending a little bit more. And I think that's all I'm gonna do for the eyes. I don't want it to get too dark. Okay, the only new mascara I have tried recently is this one, the L'Oreal Voluminous Balm. So that's what we're gonna use. I'm not gonna talk about it very much because I feel like I've talked it into the ground, but I am obsessed with it. I have used it almost daily since I got it. It is easy to remove and I am thoroughly enjoying it and would definitely repurchase it. Honestly, one of my favorite things about this is you can remove it without like pulling at your eyes. You know, I hate that. That's one thing about some mascaras that really turns me off is it's hard when you wear a mascara and it just will not come off at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Like that is really difficult. Like I will say the Rare Beauty mascara, I love that mascara. Love it. I mean it does so much for my lashes, but the only thing about it is difficult to get off at the end of the day. It comes off obviously, but I will say it takes much more work. Whereas with this, I have no trouble at all getting it off. And the other thing I really like about this, I said I wasn't going to talk about it a lot, but the other thing I really like about this is it's so buildable. You can go in with multiple coats and it doesn't look clumpy and weird like spider lashes, you know what I mean? It's definitely more, if you only do one coat, I would say it's definitely more of like a natural looking mascara. It's not like adding tons and tons of volume or anything like that, but I really love it. Lastly, for the lips, boy, have I tried a bunch of lip products in the past 2 months. A lot. So I pulled a bunch of them out here and I'll just kind of go through them quickly. We're not going to use the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glows today, but obsessed still. Love them. I've used them so many times. This is Apricot Glow and Bear Glow. Also have Bronze Glow, but it is in my purse. These, phenomenal. But we're not going to use them today because I have used them so much. I also have gotten this recently, the Too Faced Lip Injection in the shade Wifey for Lifey. So this is one of their plumping glosses. It's kind of like a rosy pinky color and I love this personally. I love the color and the plumping does not bother me on this. So I've been using this quite a bit just in my daily life. So I like this a lot. What else do I have here? For a lip liner, the only really new lip liner that I could think of is the Anastasia. Let's see, this is the new lip liner in the shade Hazelnut. And I used this in a video at some point, I know, but I haven't used it since. So I wanted to use this again. But I really love the color on this. It's a perfect brownie nude for if you're a lighter skin tone. Sometimes I feel like browns can be a little too brown on me if they're too dark, but this one is just right. Yeah, that's a good color. I do really like the formula on this. It kind of reminds me of the NYX pencil formula, just the standard pencils. Or kind of reminds me of MAC, but I feel like this one is a little bit creamier than MAC. because MAC is just like the standard pencil lip formula, or lip pencil formula, but I feel like this one is just a little bit creamier. Oh, I also recently tried the Dibs Beauty lip liner. So these are the double-ended ones that have a contour definer shade on one end and then more of like an actual lip liner on the other. These I really like too, but I wanted to use the Anastasia today. Now, on top of that, I have two things. I'm debating between these two. So we have the Patrick Ta gloss. I did use this in a video, but I already had a bunch of other stuff on my lips, so I couldn't really see it that well, I felt like. And then I also have one of the new Nars, I think, what is this called? The Afterglow Lip Shine in the shade Turkish Delight. So this one is more of a light pink. This one is a little bit more of a nude. This one, the Patrick Ta one, has gold reflex in it, and the Nars one does not. I kind of want to use the Patrick Ta. So we'll go in with this. This one is the shade Superficial. And I'm still trying to figure out what these smell like. It kind of smells like cinnamon to me. Like cinnamon candy. It's a really good smell. This is my kind of lip combo. I honestly lately haven't even been wearing lipstick that much. I really wear a lip liner and like a lip gloss or a lip balm on top. I don't know. That's just kind of been my go-to thing. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for this video. Let me know if you like this style of video. I feel like I kind of want to start doing these more often, like revisiting new products again. And hopefully you guys like it. I don't know. I feel like sometimes you just need to like experiment with things and use them a few different times and just really figure out how you feel about them before you kind of determine your opinion. Do you know what I mean? But one thing I did want to note, because I have a mirror over here. That's why I'm looking this way. I feel like I like this Kosas foundation more today than I have in my first impression and the few other times I've tried it. And the only two things I could think of are I used less product this time. I didn't even use a full pump, and I also, obviously, I have a little bit of self tanner on, so it just matches me as a whole a lot better right now. So those are the only two things that have really changed, but I just really like how my skin looks right now. It looks very it just looks skin-like. It looks like I had makeup on, obviously, but it doesn't look... It looks dewy and glowy, but just dewy and glowy enough. Not overly shiny, oily looking glowy, which I really like. I really like the coverage on it, and I like that Nars powder with it, I have to say. I really like that you cannot see powder on my face. Truly, if you are looking for a powder solely for the reason of just toning down a little bit of shine on your face and you don't want it to look like powder, I really like the Nars one. But I will say, in terms of blurring your skin, I don't think this one does a lot for blurring pores. I think it just lightly coats your face, and I agree with the light reflecting aspect. I feel like that's exactly what it does. It gives you just a veil of reflection over your face and tones down shine slightly, but it does look really pretty with this foundation. The Gucci bronzer, still kind of iffy on it, not because I don't think it's pretty. Like, I think when I have all my makeup on, it looks really good, but I don't know I can tell you to pay $62 for it. I don't know that I think it's worth $62, but it's pretty. I will use it, and I do like it on my eyes today as eyeshadow, so just keep that in mind. And it could also be I didn't get the perfect shade for me, and that's why I don't love it, but it's nice overall. Concealer, you guys, really, really good. I really, 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 really like this. If you want to try a new concealer, I really recommend this. I think this is beautiful under the eyes. The only thing is, if you want full coverage, don't get this one, because you're not going to get full coverage from this. But if you are like me and you like a medium-ish coverage, maybe you use Corrector under your eyes, I really like that one. What else do we use? Patrick Ta blush. I loved it the first time. I've loved it every time after that, and I loved it this time. I don't have anything but positive things to say about these. Lip combo, really, really like. One thing I will say, that lip liner, the Anastasia one, love it. Patrick Ta gloss, I love the look of it. I like how it feels. I like the color. Obviously, it's a gorgeous nude. I don't think this is that plumping though. It's just my opinion. I feel like my Dior gloss definitely plumps a little bit more. I don't feel much of a tingly feeling with this. So if you're looking for a true plumping gloss, my all-time favorite is the Dior Maximizer. I still think that one is the best. But this one is also really good, this Too Faced lip injection. But just something to note if you were curious. And I think that's it. Tom Ford cream eyeshadow, love it so much. Love, love, love this. The Tom Ford palette, I don't even know where it is, but the Honeymoon palette, that is a very expensive palette, and I bought it because I love the colors in it. I love those plums and golds together, especially if you have green eyes. So I'm super happy with it, but I would wait for a sale or something, or, you know, just keep your eye on it. Don't pay full price for Tom Ford. I've said that many times. Check your cosmetics company store. If you have one near you, it's definitely worth it. Obviously, 10 out of 10 recommend the Bobbi Brown Corrector, but I feel like these videos are helpful. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think of the lighting. Like I said, do you like this? Do you think it looks dark? Do you think it looks... Just let me know. Because I like to kind of play around with it and figure out what looks the absolute best. And I will list and link everything for you as always. I will also list the link for my Sephora Squad testimonial if you want to leave me a message on there. It supposedly helps if your followers leave you testimonials saying why they enjoy your content. If you've already done that, again, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, and I will list that below for you. And yeah, I will see you guys for another video very soon. Also, I keep thinking of things to say. Also, leave any last questions for a Q&A coming up soon. I haven't filmed it yet, so I'm still kind of gathering questions from everyone. So if you have a question, you can leave it below. Message me on Instagram at simply.blair. I am on TikTok now at simply.blair and the number 1. I think that's it. I will see you guys next time for my next video. Remember, simply be you. Bye.
Sunday